During the summer holidays of Year 12, I mentally and physically prepared in a way that allowed me to score a 97 plus ATAR and become dux of the cohort, while also being able to relax, unwind, and just have fun. And in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you exactly what I did so that you too can also smash the year ahead. So grab a snack, sit back and relax, for this video will bridge the gap between you and your ATAR goals. Let's start off with mental preparation. One simple way of being demotivated, undisciplined, and simply unable to get things done is by not preparing your mental state for the year ahead. Do not be like the rest of students who blindly go into Year 12 lacking a clear direction, a clear end goal, and exactly what they're going to be doing in order to succeed. You want to have a clear vision and a clear path, because without mental preparation, whenever you face adversity, whenever you're really struggling, what's going to be pushing you forward? What's going to be allowing you to overcome these things? It's your mental state. Step number one for being mentally prepared for Year 12 is to figure out exactly what you want. Sit down in a quiet place, take out a pen and paper, or you can do this online if you want, and write down comprehensively what you want to achieve in Year 12. What ATAR do you want to get? What course do you want to study? Now, this is very important. Forget your parents, forget your school, forget whatever the number looks like on paper. What ATAR do you want and what ATAR do you need to get into your course? The biggest mistake I see students doing is that they aim for a 95 because of their parents, even though the course only requires a 70. And although you might be thinking to yourself, oh, this is good, I'm aiming really high, that's not right, because the difference between getting a 70 and a 95 is massive. And plus, you don't need that ATAR anyway. Figure out what you want to get, what ATAR you want to achieve. Step number two is to set goals. As Tony Robbins once said, setting goals is the first step in turning the invisible into the visible. I want you to set your goals for 2024. Not just your ATAR goals, but also the other goals you want to achieve, your relationship goals and your health. Now, how do you set goals effectively? The way you do that is through using identity-based goals. It's basically where you write the overarching goal and underneath you list out the qualities of a person that achieves this type of goal. For example, let's say you want to achieve a 95 ATAR. Then what identity do you need? Well, you need to be a student who's disciplined, who gets things finished on time, who doesn't waste their time, who doesn't procrastinate, and etc. Now, the goal setting step can be quite uncomfortable, so I'm going to provide you with the exact Notion template that I used back when I was in Year 12 to set my goals and allow me to achieve these goals. You can find that linked in the description down below. Step number three is to prioritize. There's a saying that goes something like, where focus goes, energy flows. In Year 12, you can't have 10 other major goals. For example, if you want to achieve a 95 ATAR, you can't also have a goal of, I don't know, making $5,000 a month. Completely random example, but you get the point. When you're aiming for a big goal in Year 12, try to not occupy your mind with so many other things. That should be your number one priority. Obviously, don't be extreme. I'm not saying to sacrifice your family relationships and going out with your friends, but my point is here, your overarching goal, your main objective for this year should be Year 12 and should be your goal ATAR. Why? Because Year 12 goes like this. It's very fast. I'm telling you from experience, it flies. So that's why you can't waste your time on other things. If you're really serious about succeeding this year and achieving that ATAR you want, then you need to make Year 12 the number one priority. So right now, I want you to write on either a sticky note or just somewhere that you can see it, my number one priority this year, 2024, is Year 12. And finally, step number four to mentally preparing yourself for the year ahead is to visualize. It seems a little silly, but trust me, this is extremely effective. I want you to literally sit down, close your eyes, and just visualize yourself in Year 12 succeeding. Like literally imagine you achieving that ATAR you want. Vividly imagine yourself on results day, opening those results and seeing the ATAR that you want. I want you to visualize yourself putting the effort in, putting the work in, and actually succeeding in the end. If you cannot visualize something happening, then how are you supposed to make that happen in reality? Now that we are in the right mental state and we have the right intentions and we've found our purpose for this year, now it's important to physically prepare. And there are 5 simple steps to doing this. Number one is to rest. In the first half of the holidays, I want you to do absolutely nothing. Rest, have fun, do whatever brings you joy. Don't do anything related to school. You really want your mind to be refreshed, having completely relaxed, unwind, so that you can go into next year strong. Now, before I move on to the next step, I do want to give you a quick warning. When you're resting, try not to be a complete waste man. Like, for example, resting doesn't mean just sitting down and scrolling on down your phone. My type of productive resting would be, spending time with your friends and your family, spending time exercising and doing those type of activities. Don't just waste it all on just scrolling on TikTok. Now, once your rest has finished, step number 2 is to reflect. Reflect on your experience during the first term of year 12, or if you're going in from year 11, reflect on year 11. Ask yourself, what mistakes did I make? How did I make those mistakes? And why did I make those mistakes? And when I say mistakes, I'm talking about both the technical mistakes, meaning the mistakes that you make inside of an exam, let's say incorrect units or not defining a key term. And then I also want you to reflect on your habitual mistakes. For example, what were the bad habits that you had that led to you maybe not performing so well? Examples of this would be leaving things last minute, procrastinating, not starting things early, and etc. I want you to write all of these down. First heading being technical, and then another heading habitual. Now, once you've written down all these mistakes, both technical and habitual, I want you to then figure out the solution to those mistakes. Let's say, for example, one of your mistakes was leaving things to the last minute. The solution to that would be to just, as soon as you get the assignment, just start on it. Doesn't matter if it's just a little bit, doesn't matter if it's just 50 words, start on it straight away. Another solution might be to plan the entire assignment when you're gonna do what. You wanna make sure that you write the solution to these mistakes so that you actually go in not doing the same thing. Step number 3 is to organize. Organize your subjects, organize your timetable, and organize how many hours you're going to be studying a day. The way that I organize my subject is that I had these compartments for each respective subject where I put the book there, my exercise book, the textbook, any worksheets I had, and I also did this in Notion. So I had a Notion template that had all my notes in there, my subjects, and I'd make sure I just sort everything out so it's not all messy. And another very important thing to do is to clean your dirty space. Wipe your desk down, organize everything so it's not so messy, because if you have a clutter-free environment, your mind's also clutter-free, which will allow you to stay so much more focused and just ready for the new year. And then when it comes to your hours studied per day, this really depends on everyone, but try to have a gradual increase. For example, me, I started off with doing just 1 hour a day, 2 hours on the weekend, and I gradually increased this to get to my ideal point. This is something you have to figure out, but try to make it gradual. Now that we've reflected on our mistakes, we've been organized, we've had our rest period, now we start to do some actual work. Step 4 is to review. Revise the content that you've learned during term 1. This is a very important step because if you don't do this, you're just gonna forget everything. Finally, step number 5 for physically preparing for year 12 is to get ahead. This is such an important point. Doesn't matter if you get ahead by just a single syllabus dot point. It has a massive impact in your performance in year 12 when you go back. Because I got ahead during the holidays, when I got back to school, it wasn't the first time I saw the content. Because I already did some pre-study, it was the second time or the third time that I was seeing that content. While for everyone else around me, it was their first time seeing the content. So I want you to figure out what's the order of content gonna be for your particular school, and then start by getting ahead. And the way you can get ahead is by getting a textbook, reading through it, asking ChatGPT to explain it to me like I'm a 12-year-old, watching YouTube videos, whatever it is, try to get ahead in the content. And the best thing about this is you don't need to stress out at all, because since you're getting ahead, there's no rush to it. So I don't want you to make the mistake of just kind of rushing so much to just get ahead. Understand the topic without you having to rush anything. And there we have it. This is exactly how I mentally and physically prepared during these summer holidays to absolutely annihilate year 12. And I hope that by you following these steps, you will also be able to do the same. Be sure to grab the Notion template down below so that you can implement everything I've taught. And if you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, turn notifications so that you can see my upcoming videos. See you next time.